Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Fadia Azahar, and I'm from Jammu University. And here today, we would like to discuss about the motion we're having at this house, require individuals to pass a political general knowledge test in order to vote. We see that election is an essential and crucial time for citizens to elect and vote for those who they believe can make change, or they think that can make such a significant change and development for the country, or even for the representative of the citizens. However, by implementing this kind of test, and this test will require the citizens to pass it, or to pass the standard that has been set, will also take more time. So before we moving on to the arguments that I will provide for you, I would like to highlight and provide some rebuttals to the points that have been mentioned by the previous speaker. First of all, by doing this test, people can take unlimited chances. However, what if the citizens who have not passed the standard will do? So they are not eligible for the election. So does that mean that the people cannot take the vote, or maybe give their vote in the set time? So will it violate the right that the citizens should have to give their vote? So does that also mean that we're gonna make or implement like specific election time? Ladies and gentlemen, in my point of view, this will cost more budget, and this is not efficient. Secondly, the previous speaker also talks about how we should instill the democracy basic knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, politics. We're talking about politics here. Firstly, the foundation of the politics itself is Pancasila. That's our foundation and ideology. So this kind of thing has already been implemented at schools. So, like for instance, teachers are teaching civic to the students, and also, if we want to talk about politics, well, ladies and gentlemen, politics also includes some of personal values that each one of us has and innate from ourselves. So we cannot change people to correct or revise their values to the standardized political knowledge or political point of view. This is so. By implementing this test and requires citizens to pass certain barriers and boundaries, so it means that we should have the same political views like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is not the political view that our ideology has been instilling. Moving on. And also, the previous speaker also mentioned about this is without this kind of test, the election will be less comprehensive and less satisfying, because there will be no check and balance. Ladies and gentlemen, why should we have the check and balance? We see we're giving the citizens, people and candidates for them to be voted. Well, it will be based on their own values, how they view the narrative and the propaganda brought by the candidates themselves. So this is something that cannot be interfered by any kind of test or any kind of standardized political knowledge. And then I will also provide another alternative that we can do. Firstly, why don't we implement like a socialization like that, instead of implementing sort of test? Because we do know that our country is an archipelago, so we will have lots of remote areas here. Then if we see how will people in the remote areas will afford the test, will the government provide all the resources and devices for the citizens to do the test? Then logically it will cost us more fun and lots of time, lots of waste of time and budget. So I view this by implementing this kind of socialization and knowledge. We can aim this a kind of a basic democracy knowledge to the people who will vote, without trying to set the boundaries and the values for each people. So we don't want to force people to have the same political view, like the same or the standardized political view, but we want people to know their duty first. Their duty is to think and consider all the candidates comprehensively, objectively. We want that. That's the duty of the citizens, and also we want to promote to the citizens the consequences if they don't elect candidates objectively, or maybe if they don't, they just choose blindly like that. They choose blindly without paying attention to what the candidate really brings to the citizens themselves. So we will focus more on the education to the citizens, not forcing people to pass certain boundaries for the standardized democracy basic knowledge. And also, for the narrative effect mentality, we should be aware of this, that the narrative brought by the candidates not only propaganda without goals. Well, the narrative and the propaganda brought by certain parties or certain candidates will also present how they will approach the citizens, approach the people, and the values that the candidates themselves have inside them. They have innate values, so that's what we the people want to see more. So with all of these arguments, I think that the implementation of this political knowledge test is not necessarily needed for citizens to have. And in conclusions, we would like to instill more like education socialization, because by knowing the duty and the consequences, we hope that people can really have their own awareness of choosing the right candidates for them. And that's all. Thank you for listening.